All righty, it's 10:10, so I guess we can get started. I'll just get us going with a check-in and then pass it over to my good brother David. So let's of course do, if today was a color, what color are you feeling, as well as a number. And uh, one one quality you like to work on next year. So Zod's first. He's a black 10. And the quality I think he's going to be working on all next year is balance, walking, and stability. So that's what who you want to pass it to, Azad? Yeah, I think he said Neon D. Pass it to you.
Of course he did. Why you gotta be doing me like that? Azai. Neon color. I'm gonna go with like an eggplant purple. It was like a 5. You know, haven't had my first coffee. I think I've been asleep for 4 hours, maybe. If that. Quality that I am going to work on next year. I got so many things to work on, but I think for me, people think I have a lot of patience, but I only have a lot of patience for a certain type of creature, and usually that does not apply to humans over the age of 5. Hey, sister. So I have a lot of less patience, and I have to try and rein in my Imhotep quite frequently. But yeah, so finding that, like you said, a balance between going off on people and being too patient with them, but getting your point across without damaging them, but still getting your needs met. So getting my needs met in a way that is constructive to everyone around me, I guess, is the quality that I'm going to work on, and I'm going to pass it to the Imhotep Adisa.
Hey, let me know if you want me to coach you on that development. I'm
sure. I do, consider all good input, regardless of whether you're 1 year old or almost 79 years old.
And a half.
Almost 80. You already saying it. Almost 80 years old. Perspective is always key, and usually outside of the 5 perspectives I currently have residing in me, it's always nice to get external input. So yeah, put me on the calendar.
No
how much that gonna cost?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, because I was about to say I think I got a significant credit, so just from my bill.
Yeah, my concept of wealth is not it's not tied to any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so
yeah, I didn't say money. I said just cost.
Oh yeah, no, it's
that
all
could
free.
Be like make me 27 soaps. Okay.
Yeah, the cost, it would be your tolerance to listen. Listening to my my coaching style.
Well, I survived childhood, right?
Oh, you're doing great. Doing great. Well, I'm sitting here in Miss Fair's living room, and
lobby. It was a living room.
Used to be meeting headquarters, admin office A, and still trying to get used to this tree that's no longer physically present in the way it was most of the years that we've been here. And so the sun is shining in, and it's just really an adaptation going on. With that, the color yellow, sunshine yellow is the color that's been my theme here of late. So that's the color for this morning. My number is going to be a 9. I've already had a fairly engaging morning. Been on the south side already, walking in the snow and adapting to walking in snow when you're visually different. The quality that I've already started working on, and I'm thinking that's going to probably just roll on into 2023. And that's the idea of being in quad 2, which is, of course, Stephen Covey's quad 2 is the one where important but not urgent. And I'm trying to engage that mental model in every space almost all the time. And if I could get anywhere near increasing that approach, then over the course of 2023 and the rest of this year, I think it'd be good for myself and others. So I'll pass it to
Wait, you referenced Stephen Covey.
Oh yeah, Stephen Covey, thank you. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one section in his work is about these 4 quads, but it's really a great read in a lot of different ways. But quad 2, most of the time we're in quad 1, which is urgent, doing whatever's in front of us. And quad 2 are those pieces that step you out of urgency and more into development, planning, and slowing down. So that's kind of where I want to embrace more frequently. In fact, it just made me think of another book, and then I'll be quiet. And that's back when I was, I think, early 30s, I had this book called Meditation in Action. Mimi can reference the author's title. It's a little pocket book, but it has a lot of practices about being able to meditate in the midst of your daily activities, and not only meditating at particular times of the day, which are important, and finding quiet time, but actually being able to meditate in the heat of the day and the moments of the day. So I think those two kind of go together for me. Quad 2 and more meditative practices all day long. I'll pass it to Ms. Fair.
All righty. A yellow 10, and it's because it's light outside, and that's created by sunshine beyond the clouds, because it is snowing and super cloudy here. But I know that sun is up there because it is light outside. So I'm yellow 10, and like Niandi, I am really intentionally working on the patience required from inane statements that insult your ears and the integrity of your whole outlook on life. It is insulting and disrespectful. And so I am working on hearing those statements, even from normal people, those operating in the normal range, but hearing those statements and putting them into a perspective that I can then use to say, I need to incorporate that as I'm talking to the other of their group, the inane speaking people who will say things. I have started to hear inaneness as a question and not as a statement that comes out of people's mouths. And it's really a question. Can you give me some perspective on this craziness I have in my head? It's so, like Niandi, I'm working on adding that to perspective to help me to communicate to others. And I'll pass it on to Mimi.
Okay, let me turn this around. Huzzah. Okay. Good morning, y'all. I'm feeling like Snow White. 8. And so one, it was interesting that M brought up meditation and action because I've been reading this book. That's a great book by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. And I've been reading this book by one of his students called The Places That Scare You. And I just read the last page of it this morning. I've been chewing on and digesting that book for months, often just like one page a day, just taking it all in. And so this morning I read the last page and I was like, I know this is going to come up today. So I will go with being more fearless. I have like a lot of conditioned fear that I've been working through, and I would really like to learn to be able to move through that fear more. And I will pass it to Damon.
Everybody, stage green 9, and emotional intelligence. Something I like to work on. 2023. Can people hear me?
Not hardly.
No.
I too
Okay.
much background noise and your voice isn't loud enough.
Green 9 and emotional intelligence. And I pass it to David.
You're on mute, sweetheart.
There we go. Okay. Can everybody hear me good? Okay. So for me, I would say for some reason the color mint green is on the mind. I think refreshment, renew. That's kind of what I'm thinking going into 2023. A number, I would say I feel good this morning. I'm at like a 9. I had a bad like traveling day yesterday. I was heading back to Indiana from Miami. So the transition from 80 degrees and sun to snow, amplified by me missing my flight and some other things that was my fault. That ended up me making a lot longer of a travel day, but I'm still a 9. I feel good. Like I said, mint green. And I think the biggest thing I'm focused on in 2023, taking the page out of you all's books and bringing up a book. The book that I'm thinking about is Essentialism, and just being more intentional and focusing on meaningful, specific things that I'm working on. As we all know, we all can be very creative. There's no shortage of like ideas, but it's about executing and getting ideas out and off into the world, and not just, chewing on them and constantly just sitting on them for as long as you possibly can, talking with people and getting ideas out and shipping them out to the world. So focusing on a few projects that I'm working on instead of 10, focus on 2 or 3 and execute at a high level. So that's what I'm looking at in 2023. That was all of them, wasn't it?
That we pass it back to the moderator.
All right. Yeah.
All right, let's do Teal 8. And I'm working on not solving people's problems unless they ask for help. So you really can't solve nothing for nobody. But if they ask for help, you should stand ready, especially if they're willing to do something. And I think that'll save myself a lot of headache. So before we get started, I just want to say a little bit about my good friend here, David. I met David when I went to IU. I think it was like in 2008, roughly. And I met him. He was in his dorm building in the bathroom cutting hair. and he jives. My brother took me over there, and David had like 5 people waiting to get haircuts. So I met him in his entrepreneurial element, and I've continued to see his growth. So just a little bit. David runs a clothing boutique that he co-pilots with a good friend of his. He's ran a food pop-up. He does artist management, web development, photography, video. It's a lot. Brand ambassador.
So now y'all see why I said essentialism, because
Correct. So when it comes to serial entrepreneurship, he definitely has a lot of war wounds as well as some blessings and lessons. So hopefully before we conclude, there's some time for some of the people to engage you around some of your journey around just entrepreneurship and what it means to you, and how you plan to continue to evolve with it. But without further ado, I'll turn it over to you, my brother, and we can get it rolling.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. It's a host disabled participant screen sharing. So let me know on that. But while you do that, I'll just start off by first of all thanking you all for tuning in to this week's Alchemy workshop, all about leveraging Canva, which is a graphic design software that's free to use. It's a free and a paid version, but it's free to use. And the reason why I decided out of all those different things that DI Pat named to really focus in on talking to you all today about Canva and how to leverage it to promote an event or promote yourself or promote a friend is because more than ever today, I'm seeing people not necessarily just walk away from corporate work, but people more into starting something themselves, getting into entrepreneurship. And even if it's not that far, that deep into it, they would like to have an idea and try to, ship that idea out to the world, get it out to people. And a lot of times what stops them is, I don't know how to get the flyer done, or I don't know how to promote it or put it out, or, we need to pay somebody to do this. And what I wanted to hit on and let you all know that you don't have to pay. It's actually extremely easy to get started. You don't have to be a born creative. I can teach people how to use this tool, and I can teach people how to find inspiration and creativity inside of the software, so you don't have to feel like you are responsible for it, or feel like I'm not a creative person by characteristic or by trait, so I can't do graphic design. I promise you that using this software, you can. Now, the other reason why I decided to really dive in and do like a workshop or a boot camp on this, because for the longest, it's been extremely easy to use. But over the years, Canva has continued to develop, add on new apps and tools and different things to make the software better. On that track of it getting better, it has become kind of complicated as I sit back and even look at it right now. And this is why I think it's a great time to take a couple steps back to teach you all about what's going on in Canva, what can you actually do with it, but how to use it. And that is probably the biggest thing that I switched in this particular boot camp workshop that we're going to do versus what I traditionally do. I'm traditionally going through some slides and then, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make a flyer. I'm going to teach you how to make a business card. I'm going to teach you how to make a slide deck. Versus teaching you all how to make very specific things, which I think when it comes to this Canva stuff can be looked at as equivalent of giving out a fish. I think when we're talking about alchemy, community economics, how do we build this or do this ourselves? It's important that I focus a little bit more on how to use the software so you can create whatever you want and not feel like you limited or stuck with a certain piece of software or only knowing how to create one or two different things. I feel like if I was to give you a fishing pole and not just a fish or that final product or how to create one specific thing and kind of teach you how to leverage the software, then that'll be a better use of all of our time, but then just put you in a better position to be a creator or, you know, be able to tell somebody exactly what you would like to see if you didn't want to create it yourself. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen really quick just so you all can see Canva's dashboard and Di, to your point, just to make sure that we got enough time, I'm gonna get started and start going through the software / presentation, but I'm definitely gonna circle back at the end to go a little bit more into my background, and I'm open to answer any questions that anybody got about Canva, entrepreneurship, how I've leveraged Canva, whatever the case may be. I'm an open book. But in the interest of time, I'm gonna hop right in here. And can everybody see my screen fine?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right. Okay. So when you first go to canva.com, what I have pulled up right here is a 100% free account. There is a free version, there is a paid version, like it is with most of these apps and softwares these days. But this is the free version that I wanted to start and pull up first, because I like to let people know that if you want to create a flyer, if you want to promote your business, if you want to promote your personal birthday party, it doesn't matter what it is, you can make a flyer right now and it can be done in less than 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if you've used the software before or not. It's that easy. And we're going to go into an actual design, but before we go into that, let's just talk a little bit about what we have in front of us in terms of this dashboard, because they've added so much stuff over the years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work us just from like this top right corner over here to the left. So starting over here in the top right corner, I'm going to quickly tell you all what's going on this page. First off, over here is just the account section where you can see if you are a part of a certain team and pretty much just get a good understanding on your account settings and who you're signed in as. And if you all have any questions, just ask me, but I'm going to move at a pace to where I'll focus on spend a little bit more time on the most important things and not so much on the miscellaneous stuff. Here, create a design. I'm gonna circle back to that here shortly as we go into the design, but 3 different ways that you can start creating a design from scratch. You can use custom dimensions, which means like you have dimensions in your mind, or you may know, hey, for Facebook, I need it to be 960 by 1080. So most of us do not think in dimensions. I rarely use custom dimensions unless I'm doing something specific for a poster that I want blown up to a certain size, but probably not going to use custom sizes that much. Edit photo, this is just you starting from a photo, and importing a file, you can start from a design that you already have, and you might want to do some additions onto that, but we'll get into that in detail in addition to some of these other set template sizes that they have. This little cog here, it's just the settings. We can kind of go in, again, affect your profile picture, different things like that. Help center, asking the app for help. Now download the app, which is something that's totally new. I don't have it downloaded on my laptop right now, but you do not need, well, you do still need to have connection to the internet. So let me just be very clear on this. Download the app. If you download the app, that does not mean you can use it offline. So right now we're using it in the web browser, but if you download the app, you'll have to still be connected to the internet to edit and do anything with your designs. But there is an app, and the app seems to work a little bit faster, but it doesn't have additional features or anything like that. But it is an app if you are interested. Now to quickly kind of back us back through these parts, and I'll touch on each of them very quickly, and then I'll circle back on them at the end. The learning section, Canva has a bunch of different courses and videos that teaches you in maybe like 2 or 3 minutes or less how to use certain aspects of the software. As they roll out new features, they'll put out a quick video to tell you quickly about the feature, how to use it, and how to leverage it. But their learning center is actually very good. I've used it a lot myself personally. So if you're ever interested in just kind of getting into the software and you're not ready to make a design, but you want to learn a little bit more, that section's here. Pricing and planning. Primarily, we'll be dealing with the free or the pro version, but I'll talk to you all about pricing and circle back on that at the end. While we're working on designs, you'll start to see what's free, what's paid, and can make the decision on which one will be best suitable for you. But I'm going to try to show you as much as possible using the free version. Education. For those of us that are teachers or in classrooms and different things like that, there are special discounts that's available to students, but there is a lot of worksheets and different templates that are available to make teaching a little bit easier, just in terms of documentation, creating worksheets for students. If you want to teach your own curriculum and turn it into a workbook, and also have a handout and give slides to follow along, all of those different things with the same colors, the same branding, and the same continuity is able to be created pretty easily in Canva.
I got a quick question for you, David. On education section, you said curriculum. So have people or do people use this piece of the tool to create ebooks?
Yes. So they don't use this part of the tool specifically, but there are some resources in here in the teachers and schools section and in the student section that will lead you to some different templates that are ebook related. But you bring up a good point too, Diop. I don't know if anybody on the call right now has been interested in creating an ebook, but whether it is a couple of slides with some pictures or an actual traditional letter style ebook with a couple of pages, this is the perfect software to create that in. As long as you have the content and the information, you can literally copy and paste from your Word document over into this software and add in your designing and branding for Kepra or whatever the case may be. And again, in a couple of days, you could be done. Because I know in comparison, because I've had friends that have done it, man, you wrote the whole book. We could have just copied and pasted that over right into Canva instead of you paying somebody $250 to copy and paste it over to Canva or whatever software that they choose to use. But to them, hey, they're getting me started. I got the information, turn this into a book for me. You don't understand how easy that is these days. If you're able to put a couple of hours into it, I guarantee you can do it yourself. And just to even touch on that just a little bit more, we're not gonna go all the way into this template, but just so you all have an idea on the template nature of Canva. And if you did want to create an ebook, it's as simple as typing in whatever you have in mind. And even if it is not a specific category for it, still type it in and see, because there are going to be some things that are going to pop up that'll still stimulate your creativity and help you with a general direction to go in. Was there any other questions right there? Okay. So business, which this is a great category in terms of ideas, inspiration, because let me tell you all one thing I feel like this is the most important thing that I want you all to kind of take away. Even if we kind of circle back or go back to this video to learn certain tools or ways to use the software, you do not have to feel like you need to be a marketer, creator, super creative, or like a super inspirational person. Like the way that this software is set up with these templates, use cases, showing you different features, sharing with you designs that other people have created, in addition to a little process that I've come up with that I feel like if I'm not feeling creative or inspired, if I do this ABC, these steps, then I'll be able to quickly come up with a design direction that I want to go in, and it'll just be a matter of like finishing it up. Canva makes that easy for you. So again, if you don't feel like you're a graphic designer by nature, this is for you. If you don't feel like you're the most creative person in the room, this is for you. But if you are, the possibilities are endless. They adding more and more features every day. But in this business section, you can learn more about the different features and see some specific use cases, and even see how Canva has been integrated into entire companies to just be the marketing department. So that's what you can see in that section. And then design spotlight, which is kind of bringing me back around to the whole create design button that we have on top. But there are a couple different ways that you can get into making a design. The easiest and the whole basis of Canva is templates. And we all know what templates are, pretty much something to just guide our creativity or our idea. Canva has, I want to say it's probably like over 500,000 different templates now. So what you have going on is all the way from people on one side that are going into the software to use the templates to create whatever content that they want. You have another side of this industry where people are making a living just creating templates and adding them onto Canva, just so people can buy their templates and put their content in as they please. But in the last 10 years, I would say that Canva's been out, it's only grown, and there's so many creators in the community, and people are not only building community by talking and sharing designs and different things like that, but there's also a program that if you want to take it to another level, and I'm in the process of doing this now with Canva, it's becoming a Canva certified pro. It's kind of like getting verified on social media or something like that, but through the lens of Canva, and it pretty much lets everyone else know, hey, I'm certified to teach you how to use this tool in a way that can be beneficial to you, your business, or your personal endeavors. Real quick, before we leave this home page, I wanted to show you all just this side panel and home, which is where we at now. Templates, projects. What projects will be where all of the projects that you've worked on are going to be housed. I'll show you all what that looks like when I switch over to my account where I have a lot more of my projects, so you can see that. Tools. This little crown thing that you see right here on the side, this is for paid. So this means that this is for Canva paid software. So if you paid the $12 to $15 a month, I'll go to the exact price so you all can see it for sure. But this won't be here if you did pay, and you can see pretty much what comes from these tools. But just to show you all these tools really quick, the first one is the brand kit. In this brand kit, what you're able to do is quickly add in the elements of your brand, right? Well, if you got your brand elements here, whether you're creating a business card, a flyer, a poster, you'll quickly have your logos here. You'll have your colors. Actually, let me show you all an example versus this. So for example, Howdy Homemade, this is one of my marketing clients. But instead of me, every time I create a flyer or any type of graphic for Howdy Homemade, instead of me finding a logo, okay, what colors was I using last time? All right, what's the best font to use for these people? All of these things are already saved here, and it makes them a lot more quicker for me to get to, and they actually end up popping up right here on the side of the page whenever I'm working on a design. So I'm sure you all can see how that could be super easy. That means you don't have to think, you can match your colors and everything very quickly. But in a nutshell, that's what a brand kit is. And this is part of the premium or the paid version of Canva. If not, you will have to spend a little bit more time pulling together your elements to create whatever piece of content. The other thing that's paid that is extremely useful, and me personally, I am a paid Canva user, but again, I'm just familiar with all of the tools and I know how to get the most out of this stuff. And in comparison to other softwares, price-wise, it just does not even compare. This is 80% off probably compared to everything else. And everything else being Adobe Suite type software, which could get a little bit expensive if you don't have the proper licensing. But even when it comes to certain things like this, from a content planner perspective, there are apps that charge you specifically to schedule and plan your content. And these apps tend to start off maybe about $15 a month or something like that. A lot of these things are built into Canva. So right after you create your content, you can go ahead and put it on the calendar, connect up a certain social media channel already, and it'll just be scheduled. I don't have my social media connected to this account, but you could connect to Facebook and pick the time and the caption that you will want with it. So after you create the design, you can schedule it for posting on a particular profile, all in Canva. And again, one-stop shop, create the design, share the design, get it out to social media. To me, there is no other software that's like Canva. But I feel like at this point, I've shown you all almost everything on the homepage. Oh, these last two things, which this is going to come up while we're designing. Apps. This is what really took Canva to another level in the last 2 or 3 years. And again, these are elements that are paid in a lot of different other apps. If you get the paid version of Canva, you get all of this different stuff included. So the ability to turn text to images, you can literally type in, hey, I'm looking for, artistic pictures of a dog or artistic pictures of tea, whatever, it's National Tea Day. But this text to image is a new piece of software that uses AI to kind of crawl the internet and find the best images for you. I'm gonna teach you all about shadow and duotone and different things like that. And the last thing I want to show you, which this will also come up, is smart mockups. Smart mockups is what you see a lot of times when people are promoting a business. So maybe there is a initiative coming up for Kepra that you may be pushing out to different agencies or offices. And this is that perspective of the professional software being on the laptop already or on the tablet and different things like that. So also smart mockups is used a lot for apparel and merchandising. So if you ever have an idea, not to promote your party or nothing, but if you want to make a t-shirt design, or I want to design some jeans or a hat, all of those different things can also be designed right here in Canva. And let's jump into a design, because I'm doing a lot of navigation and a lot of showing you these buttons and tools. But again, this is going to be the difference between you all just knowing how to specifically make something and knowing how to use the software. So I'm going to open up a design that I made maybe about a month, 2 months ago, and talk to you all a little bit more about what's going on from a navigational perspective now that we're in a design. And actually, let's take one step back. So from the home page, you can start with the design that you've already done, but in most cases, we're going to probably be making something completely new, right? So we'll be starting from a template. The most common thing that I see made or created in Canva tends to be flyers. It could vary, but what we're going to focus on is showing you all of the different tools and functions So when you are creating that flyer, you know what's possible, you know where you could take it, and you also know if you want to just delegate it to somebody else, and you could tell them, look, I already know it shouldn't take you that long to do that because I know, you know, what it takes. But in most cases, you're going to start from a template. So if we're trying to post something to Instagram, it'll start out by giving us those dimensions. So you don't have to think about what the custom dimensions for Instagram is. On the left, I'm gonna go down most of this panel. So we're gonna focus on this sidebar here. Now that we're inside and it's time to create. So on the left, you see all of the different templates that are available for Instagram posts, right? So I'm not gonna scroll too far because it doesn't end. Let's just use the first one to talk a little bit about some of the elements and different things that are in play in this design. So first off, elements. Now that we have a template actually open, as I drag the mouse across here, you see all these different things that the mouse selecting. Those are elements. And elements include shapes, lines, graphics, stickers, which people are starting to use a whole lot more to add in an animation or movement element to their content, charts, tables, frames, grids. I know it seems like a lot. I'm gonna quickly take us through some of these things so you know how they work, because in past Canva courses, when I or been a part of a course, if I taught a course or been a part of a course where we focus specifically on making a piece of software and do not talk about these things, they never get clicked on ever. And then the person never ends up knowing that they exist or how to use them to make much better design. So I'm gonna touch on those real quick. But the most basic one is, of course, you know, shapes and squares. There's going to be some times where you want to fit a picture into a frame. I'm going to circle back to that, but shapes and squares, that's all a lot of these templates are made out of. But instead of you starting with a blank piece of white paper and knowing to put, you know, half of the rectangle on the paper and different things like that, or to bring it down, the template is already put together for you. That makes sense. And also, I know I'm talking a lot, but please stop me if y'all got any questions on anything. So yeah, all of these elements are movable, adjustable pieces. Even this picture in the back is just a picture. But what I wanted to show you all was any template is just made of a bunch of elements. And eventually you'll get good enough at this software to create your own templates. Or once you have a look or a vibe that you're working off of, you may just want to make sure that all of your content looks somewhat consistent. So you'll keep that same kind of shape and colors and different things like that. That's where that brand kit being right over here comes into handy, with you not having to look for what your colors are. So I can just kind of have Howdy Homemade pulled up right here, and here's the colors. I can know that, you know, my logos for Howdy are right over here, and kind of pull them right over here. Versus, again, you having to find these things every single time. But to go through elements a little bit more in detail, starting with lines and shapes. Shapes is the building blocks of all of these templates. What you don't want to do is spend a whole lot of time, though, figuring out how to put together this design. Canva does that for you. And it will serve you best to leverage some of these templates that they've created. Professional designers that have already put in time, work, and energy. All you need to do is focus on how to get the most out of it. And to do that, that's where you probably want to really leverage these designs, kind of go in here. And if I wanted to turn this quickly into a Howdy's Homemade, which they're an ice cream shop, I can do that. Change all this yellow to pink. You know, change the white text to my blue. That's from Howdy's. And, you know, quickly, I'm looking for some ice cream elements. So I want to now put this photo of ice cream in the background versus that chart. You know, so you can see how quickly you're able to kind of drag and drop elements and quickly change a design entirely and not spend that much time doing it. I'm almost done already, you know, like, I didn't mean to do that, but you can bring this over. And before you know it, you kind of like on your way to being done with the design. But to continue going through elements, you have graphics, which are a lot of different icons and different things like that. And you will be surprised on the different things that you can find in here, whether it's holiday related, certain graphic or artistic styles. Do not hesitate to type anything into Canva. I'm not gonna say it's like big like Google, but people are constantly adding in things every day, from little hand-drawn graphics to you know, stuff that's coming up. So we got Thanksgiving, for example, coming up. If you wanted to put out anything Thanksgiving related, if you wanted to mail out some stuff or create some decorations for your house, this is some of the elements that they have available that you can, again, add quickly onto any design that you might be working with, and, you know, be able to give it a whole Thanksgiving vibe. I know I'm mixing it a little bit with the ice cream, but this is how you add in these elements to get to where you want to go. Any questions? No? Okay. So we'll take this back to...
We got a question.
Okay.
We were talking about text to images. Canva is searching where for those images. It's an AI, and that an AI I was curious about the scope and depth of its reach.
Right. So to take, because of course, you know, when you typing in on the search bar, just in general, you know, Google is searching through pages and different things like that, looking for the images. But the text to image, what happens is, actually, let's use it real quick. Let me see what comes up when we type in Indiana. This is a brand new feature, but it definitely leverages AI to pull in images that, how can I explain it?
Yeah, I'm just curious where we're pulling the images from. Is it coming from Canva's own?
It's coming, yeah, it's I don't think it's coming just specifically from Canva. I think Canva is also pulling from like Google search base as well.
Okay.
But to me, it's a brand new feature, and I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to like read the metadata and different things like that in the images that they're finding from the internet, but also images that are created by anybody that's ever used Canva, right? Because unless you want your designs to remain private, a lot of them are being stored online in their repository. And then that's what makes for it to be, you can see what's been created around me recently. That's the social media element of it, to where what's been created around me recently, related to this holiday, everything that pulls up. But this,
Okay, I think I'm good. So it's a Canva community also.
yes.
Okay, all right,
And
thank you.
the community is, I think they just got to, I know I think they just got over 1 million.
Wow, okay.
100, no, 100 million. I said 1 million, 100 million. I knew it was right here on the front page. But yeah, so the amount of designs that exist in this Canva ecosystem is vast. And that text to image allows you to search through their repository of designs as well to pull up some really good stuff. Sometimes it's in beta.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem. Okay, so we were, where was we at? Oh, I left that page. Okay. Let's go back into our design. And just to give you all some context on what happened here, this is the original design right here. So I took this template and leveraging a couple of colors and some logos and people that I knew and what they had in mind, that turned into this. And I was able to probably turn this around in about less than an hour. I don't want to say nothing crazy like 5 minutes or something like that, but in less than an hour, again, without having to worry about where the picture should go, where should the time and date go, and where should the button and things like that be. By the time you add in your pictures, your title, your logos, and different things like that, it's going to look very different from the template. So don't ever worry about, well, it's going to look too much like a template, or no, they're not. They not going to know. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to be like, man, she not that creative. Why she only, that's not going to happen. So your best bet again is to get your ideas out, get them across, put the information in, and then see what people think. But do not spend a bunch of time dwelling on, if this template is the best one for me. Just get some feedback and really focus on getting it out there to the people, because professional designers have spent the time and energy figuring out, should the picture go here or should the text go there? And in the event that you want to move it, definitely do so. But, that time has already been spent for you. Stickers. So stickers are a lot of times animated, and we see these on social media a lot if you are active on that side of things. But stickers, you're going to have almost anything that you could think of. So for instance, this event was about golf. I'm sure I could find some golf stickers like this girl right here if I wanted to. I don't really fit, but stickers are good because what they do is they add a animation element to your content. Most things these days are static, and everybody says that video is killing it in every category. But if you're able to even add in some animation to some of your static posts, reels, stories, whatever, it just acts or creates for more engaging content. And again, it's a total difference between me figuring out how to find that picture and animate it, then upload it to Canva, then all I had to do is type in golf and she right there. So another element to, again, tapping into this community of creators and designers that are feeding so much content into Canva and leveraging these graphics and things that are there to make your graphic look 100% professional. Continuing down the elements, and this is definitely the densest category out of all of them, you all. So I don't want y'all to think that it's like 100 categories in each one. Elements is the biggest, but everything is here, and you'll be able to see how the other sections still really feed into elements. We won't have to go through all of them again. Photos. Photos is very important in Canva. Numerous reasons. And one of my favorite ways to use a photo in design is using a photo as a background. This is kind of just like one of my little signature design styles. I know I'm not using it on any of these at the moment, but I'm the type of person that likes to use a photo in the background, kind of like that. And then what I'll tend to do is darken it or reduce the transparency. So this is the perfect time to quickly talk to you all about some of the editing that you can do to photos and videos as you bring them into your design. The main one of the main ones is transparency. So transparency is definitely all about how clear or transparent the graphic is, so you can see what's happening when I change that. This tool is going to come in handy for you because there's going to be some times where you want to have a certain background or you want to have a picture in the background, but the picture is too bright. The font won't show. It's not easy to read that white font on top of here. However, the graphic can look just as good, if not better, by turning down the transparency. Now it is legible, and now it looks like I did just something that's extra advanced graphic design wise. But again, you've seen what happened. This is a matter of dragging and dropping and just playing with the transparency a little bit, and you're able to get a different look that you're going for. The second thing that I want to show you all at the top of this page is the format painter. This is a tool that you can find in like Microsoft Word and different things like that. But if you click on this, and let's just say, for instance, if she was in color, I'm gonna make her color really quick. Format painter, whether you're talking about a photo or a text, it takes whatever effects that's on there and instantly applies it to the other things. So like, for instance, for a picture, if I just wanted all of the pictures to be, somewhat the same, I would just click on that format painter and it'll be able to change them all right over. As it relates to text, if I wanted things to take on this big orange type of font and be applied to other things on the page, then in one click, I'm able to do that using that format painter tool. So the format painter essentially takes the format from the photo or the text and applies it to whatever other element that you click on. Does that make sense? Cool. I think it's pretty easy. And the thing is, I bring it up though, because it's used quite a bit. It can save you so much time. So the time you might try to spend like, man, let me get 7700 stripe, all right, it's bold. And then, okay, the color is actually on the spectrum. I can't get it. Okay, you don't have to do all that. Just format painter and just, all right, I'm done. So it'll save you a lot of time and energy. And again, photos and text. Moving on, videos. Well, this is really cool. Especially today, where video is pretty much dominant on a lot of these social media profiles, and just in terms of capturing people's attention a whole lot more. So if this is a business webinar, let's just say if we are looking for business video, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't need to type video, just business categories are right up here. So the thing is, again, with video, this is why Canva makes it very, very easy for you. It probably would have took me at least about 10 minutes or something like that to find some good, super high quality stock video that's business related, to find it, then to see, can it fit? All right, I could just type in business and see numerous instances of people doing business, and you're able to just hover over each of them so you can see really quick. Does that make sense for me to use? Nah, that's probably not it. But you can quickly see what the video is and drag and drop it in just like it's a picture. There's not many softwares that allow you to do it that easily. And when you kick it out, again, the quality in all of these videos is already 1080p or 4K. Let's just say, for instance, if you did want to just use the regular Google search engine to find these videos, you'll find them eventually. But the odds that they are of this quality is not that high. It's not hard to find videos, and you can use a video from your phone or something if you wanted to. But again, the odds of the quality being where you need it or want it to be is not that high. Canva takes care of that for you. But not only with video, but as you all could see when we were scrolling down, same thing with photos as well. And I'm talking good photos, like, so for instance, if we wanted to, as we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, let's do this. Make it the entire background. And that's what I was kind of talking about in terms of, okay, this is one of my go-to design styles. I like to create based off of this. Okay, but David, you can't write any text on there that's gonna really be like visible like that. Happy Thanksgiving. And even if it's big and close to being the right colors, it's really a struggle to see this. Hold on, let me get the side right. Okay. For me, I love playing with the transparency tool. And right now the background is green. Let's go for something that's a little bit more Thanksgiving-y, or for something that's even from any of the pictures that we've added. This is another thing that Canva does. I don't want to spend too much time on this because this is too in the weeds. We'll talk about this in part 2 of the course. But Canva is any pictures that you use in your graphics, Canva can take colors specifically from all those pictures. So versus you having to find the color dropper tool or write down the color code and try to apply it to various things, you're able to kind of go in here. Oh, okay, this is the general background or some elements of the photo that we're looking for. And now it is legible. I will probably go a little bit more transparent though. And now I have almost a foundation to make something that could be cool. But let's continue to talk about elements a little bit more. I'm almost done with these elements, and then we'll talk about text. So just finishing up the elements, audio is another thing that you can add in. So popular sounds and different things like that that go on TikTok. There's not that. That's not what's on Canva right now. What they do have is very good quality, royalty-free music and audio that could be added onto any promotional flyers or to a website that you can make on here or to a slide deck. And this music or this audio is very hard to come by, like royalty-free audio that doesn't sound super cheesy or like very bad. It's hard to come across that type of audio. Similar to it being tough to find those high quality videos, it's all right here in Canva, right here in this side panel. You can drag and drop it on, test it out, listen to see what it sounds like. But people are using this audio just to amplify the engagement that they have around certain posts and stimulate another sense. It can only be helpful and beneficial when you add in the audio or give people a different way to engage with your content. These are a little bit more advanced, but I just want to let you all know that they do exist. So charts and tables. So if you want to make an infographic, or let's talk about the impact that you all have made over the past couple of years, and you want to break that down into charts and graphs, those elements are here. You're easily able to add or take away. You're able to add and take away rows as you please. Just like Microsoft Excel, it just looks a whole lot better. So if we want to turn this into some type of worksheet situation, what you're able to do with the charts and tables is really good. If you wanted to do something like this, is like, again, infographics and creating things like that, showing impact, but in a visual way, Canva is the perfect tool for that. All right, so this brings me to this next section that I want to talk about in elements. And after elements, we'll transition into the next section. But this is very important that I show you these two, because it's incorporated in all of these designs, actually. So none of these pictures are actually circle pictures or came like this. The way that we were able to get that looking a certain way was through use of frames. So when you use a frame, you're able to pretty much have it serve as a frame. So here's a circle, here's a wavy circle. I know right now it has just like a grassy background. And I'm showing you all these just to show how photos work. So let's just say I want to put my own pictures in. This picture that is obviously a square, right? But I'm trying to do something specific. I need it to look like this. You're able to drag and drop pictures right into the frames and have them instantly turn into or fit the style or vibe of whatever your design is. This is another thing that is not that easy to come by on other softwares. But again, Canva just has it under control. You're able to also move around these pictures so you can see wherever you want them to be or how you want them to show. Oh, y'all know what this is. This is the Black Excellence branch that I'm working on. But in terms of putting together that slide deck, which that was something that was made in Canva. Again, you're able to use these frames to creatively fit in photos in a way that looks super professional and that's not easily duplicatable by other people, right? So again, this is also the beauty of having your logos and your pictures and stuff readily accessible, so you don't have to search the internet or try to download it or look for your own stuff. Canva will hold it down for you. So that's, in a nutshell, that's frames. The other thing I want to quickly show you all is grids, because this is just something that comes up all the time when you're designing. So you want to find, let's just say you want to create like some nice symmetrical designs, but you could come into file and open up the rulers and say that, all right, I think I would need something to be 5.5. All right, you could do that. Or you can just say, you know what? Cut this thing symmetrical. All right, or you know what? Actually, I wanna, mix and match it a little bit. And not have to worry about if things are perfectly lined up. Because now what you're able to do is put something in almost you can put something just similar to frames. You could put whatever you want in each grid. And this is another thing that easily takes like design just to a totally different level. So it's similar to a frame, but the frame would be standalone, right? Your frame would just be a circle, or right here, a grid could take up an entire page, and you can easily have it only be in certain parts of a flyer. Again, there's not too many softwares that allow you to get this creative with what you're using. But if you have 3 or 4 pictures in mind, and I'm gonna use this actually just to kind of keep us moving forward. But if you have a couple of pictures in mind, grids, snaps together and puts them in a symmetrical format to where you can use numerous pictures to create really good designs, again, very quickly. So that's grids. And again, the main difference being grid will connect multiple frames together and do something symmetrically for you, versus frames are more so standalone. I want to stop right there real quick. Ask if anybody got any questions. Nope. Okay. I'm just dragging and dropping. I'm doing it this fast just to show you all like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. And this is how fast you can be trying to figure out and see what you like or what you don't like in Canva. And I think that is meant for you to treat and use it like that, and not like, I pick this. Like, if you don't like it, create another one, scrap it. We on page 5. It don't even look like we've been kind of jumping around like that. But again, use this software like scratch paper, to where you get your ideas off and I know, you'll get to the point to where, okay, I know exactly how I want it to look and feel. Okay, now let me spend an hour, meticulously getting into there. But until then, in terms of exploring your ideas, use this to do that. Let's talk about a couple of more tools. And then I am going to put another pin in it to talk about theory, because I'm teaching you all of these tools and where to click and different things like that. But I found it helpful in the past where people haven't just told me what to do, but why I'm doing it, or how to think about it best for me to be, as productive as possible with it. But then I can take it. Now I know what to do. And while we're doing it, okay, now I can wrap my own thoughts and my own creativity around that and take this to where I want to take it. So I want to give you all not just this practicality piece, but I want to give you some ideology and some conceptual aspects of this, because I did mention also earlier, even if you're not creative, I know I've shown you, but I want to also give you the mindset that also goes along with that to get the most out of this software. So the next thing I want to touch on while we're on this design still is text. Let's just delete that whole grid. We don't need that. Okay. So in text, when you click on text here on the side panel, they're going to give you a couple of different options, starting with the headers. but then they also give you some of the most popular texts that are being used as titles on content, flyers, and different things like that. And these are really good. And they actually also let you see some of the effects that you're able to add to any text, because that's all that this is. This is not, again, specific artwork. You can add a lot of these effects to any text that you would like. And again, that's why we're going through some of these things. I know this is a lot. I know I'm talking a lot and hitting you all with a lot of information, but trust me, you all are going to be able to go a lot further with this stuff that we're talking about now versus if I spent the time showing you how to make a flyer and a business card. You'll know how to, you can take this and do whatever you want with it. But all right, so text. Let's come up with a good title for this piece here. Seems like, let's just keep it in the spirit of Thanksgiving. It's a little tight, spread it out. 184. So as you all can see, I'm just manipulating the text a little bit. Actually, I do want happy to be that big. But just kind of going quickly from baked fresh, like I'm not spending too much time thinking on what's the best text, what's the best color, what's the best, you know, you can really get in here and again, leverage these things that they've already kind of pieced together for you. I'm gonna also use this time to go back through some of the things that we already talked about to put them into practice. So, all right, this brown and this happy is a little bit off. I wish it really kind of pulled or took on some of the light from one of the pictures that we used, like one of these down here, to where now I can pull the brown from her dress or the green from these trees or the gold from this. You know, you can add that. All right. Now it looks like happy really matches because we took the color from the picture and not just picked a close brown that what we thought was best. And again, it's little stuff like this that designers are spending a ton of time and energy doing that Canva is like, let's cut that time and energy in half and give people what they need to get this thing done. So this is one way to go about text. But in the event that you are adding some content, this is how much different text is in Canva. So you think Microsoft Word has a lot of different text? Canva has more. Not only that, you can upload any text that you want. So say if you have a business and we have our text that we've been rocking with for years. Well, as long as you have the text file or the file of that text, or you want to download a text from a different website. So there's other websites where you can find specialized text like 1001 fonts or defont.com, just different fonts that you can use. Anything that you find on the internet, you can download that text file and upload it here to Canva. And now you're able to use that text in your designs. And as you're kind of going through, again, as you just click on it very quickly, you're able to quickly see, you know, how it looks. This is one of my brand kits for Howdy Homemade that I keep telling you all about, but I don't have to, hold on, where's scripter? What's the name of that? I don't have to think about any of that. It's waiting on me. You know, as I'm working on my different designs, that font is already there and it's there for you. So text, colors, all those different things being together, you all can start to see the value of having your brand kit elements right here on the side. Now, that was really the gist of it. The elements, the text, and the shapes. Now I'm gonna touch on a couple of these other different panels, and some of these we've already talked about. They just have it on here again as another way to access it. But Now I'm gonna just touch on a couple of these, and then I will bring us back to the homepage to talk about some of the differences, key differences that are remaining between the free and the paid, and then that'll bring us to the end of our time today. So hang in there with me, y'all. We almost there. But real quick, also for me, like, are y'all finding this information helpful? Just so I know. Okay, cool. All right. So now that we've talked about text and what you can do from a creative perspective, but not only that, as you're starting to get into the details of saying, for instance, the showroom that Diop had referred to earlier, this is another piece of content that I created right here in Canva to promote our space. So to stimulate rentals and different things like that through the use of some frames, some shapes, having the logo readily available, and then getting in here with the text again, finding what's the best text to use. Some of these texts may not necessarily be legible, but that's again, using this as scratch paper, clicking on this stuff and seeing what it looks like and what fits, or, you know, what you all like. Make sure you get in here and just try different things, but you can create a lot of graphic-based content. But to Diop's point earlier, you could write a book in here and design, you know, the edges, or the, you know, how, not only how the cover looks, but how each page looks. You know, you could create nice contracts, invoices. I do a lot. I pretty much do like everything in Canva, but I just wanted to give you all a couple of different looks real quick, because we've talked about all of this stuff. This ice cream drip, for example, is an element. Me just knowing that I have some Neapolitan ice cream right now as the background. Like, this stuff that looks like it's, you know, super creative, it's all right here in the software. Type in ice cream cupcake, this popped up. All of this information is in different imagery is right here in the software, so you can create some really, really good designs. But let's continue to go down that side panel. Okay, so we've talked about text, projects. This is just the different projects that you are working on. So on your homepage, you're also able to access all of the different projects that you have, but on here, you may want to add a graphic or a flyer from a previous project that you've worked on. You are able to drop that right into a different project and also open up another project in a different tab if you want to. Photos. I told y'all we was going to now get to a part of the course where we've talked about a lot of this stuff. Photos is this is just another swatch to get to the photos that's within elements. Styles. I love styles. So talking about, I don't know if we would consider this to be automation, but when you're just talking about one click type of things that you're able to do. And again, I want to make sure I don't mess this one up. So let me just quickly duplicate it. Again, we're treating this stuff like it's scratch paper. So now when one click, I've just instantly duplicated it, because this one, I'm going to try something. I want to do a different style. And instead of me using my brand kit, which it would just give me my colors and my text and everything right there if I was going that route, let's see what this is about. Let's just go into color palettes. Actually, let me do this on a different design like this. Without me even having to think about what other colors might look good, I can just quickly search through color palettes right in Canva. So I don't know where to take this. All right, well, let me just click on some stuff until I see something that I like, and I might start keeping those colors. So that's a good one right there. So this is another way that I wouldn't consider this to be like AI or anything like that, but with one click, you are able to see what colors fit in certain areas from a contrast perspective that look good. But in a nutshell, style wise, that it can be done with colors. It can also be done with font, or it can be done with both. So just to give y'all an example. So again, you could spend the time thinking like, I should try, Horizon font and just try, or you could just click through to quickly see what looks good to get your ideas stimulated. Audio, we already talked about that. It's separated into, Christmas. So as we get in closer to Christmas, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but those things are easily able to be added, and it's right there. We didn't talk about this as much, but you all got to see it really used. Background. So right now, we primarily was using pictures as backgrounds, but for instance, these backgrounds essentially are images, big high quality images like the ones that will go on your desktop. But basically, in the backgrounds tab, you were just able to kind of come in here and just use anyone as a background. Works exactly the same as images, but it's just really cool to use a really good high quality image as a background. Sometimes it just gives your content a totally different look and feel. I'm not going to spend as much time as this extra stuff at the bottom because it's extra, but I do want to show you all just some of the other possibilities, and then we're going to talk about the design theory. QR code. I'm going to show you all this one just because it's pretty much one of the most popular things that people are adding on to flyers and events and different things like that. So, for example, I have a QR code on this one, in which this QR code just leads to it leads to their event. But you all know how QR codes work. They're pretty much generated based off of a link, whether you all want to sell a ticket, promote an event, or whatever. Instead of you going to a website or trying to figure out how do you make a QR code, long as you can just put, google.com, there's your QR code right there. So that's how hard it is to make a QR code in Canva. If you want to send it to Eventbrite, you want people to scan here to watch the video, to show, a video, anything, whatever the case may be. Canva allows you to do that very quickly, very easily. This is something else that people use Canva for. So let's go back to the home page really quick, just so you all can get an idea on some of the different things that Canva is used for. So under templates, you get an idea on what some of the most popular templates are, but this is vast. So documents, infographics, posters, flyers, logo, stories, presentations, logo, media kits, letterhead, it really doesn't end. You can build a whole business off of Canva. And I'm in tech right now professionally, but I've already seen numerous companies hire 2 or 3 people, get them a Canva professional account. Y'all 2 people are the marketing department, because there's nothing that's here that you all shouldn't be able to make, or at least draft up if we do have to pay somebody else to take it professional, take it to another level. But you have the tools and the capabilities to do that. The other reason why I feel like Canva is so valuable and there is no limit to the creativity. Is you don't have to keep it straight in Canva. Everything is literally in there for you. But let's just say, I don't feel like I'm a creative person. I don't know. I want to come up with a sports flyer, but maybe I'm feeling like the stuff in Canva is a little it's too template-y, or I don't like it, or I'm just not inspired, right? I'm not inspired by some of the sports looking stuff. Okay. That's fine. You could come right over here, and this is kind of to the point of, you don't have to be creative. You don't have to come up with anything. All you have to do is just know where to look, and you can find some inspiration. So because I just showed us that we can pretty much do absolutely anything in Canva. If it's that looks too much like a template, or I need an idea or something like that, the perfect place that I found to find ideas, and I have like 4 websites, but typically if I come here first, I'm able to find exactly what I'm looking. I'm able to find 15 ideas. I need to get off this site after I spend a little bit of time here. Pinterest. On Pinterest, if I'm looking just for an idea for a sports flyer, so now I'm able to kind of cross between what's going on here on Canva. This might be, some of it, but I might need something a little bit more edgy or a little bit more cutting edge. All right, I look here, I'm inspired, because now what I know is that, okay, if there is no straight template for this, but I got an idea on what I want to do. Okay, because if I was operating a little bit more outside of Canva, I can find an image on the internet and easily, start doing something like that. But let's just say customize this template. I'm gonna take you all through this thinking. This is a background photo overall. Okay, so look, let's just take her out for a second. And not that one. We didn't talk about this tool, but this is one of the apps in Canva, and by far my favorite. And we'll talk about the apps in part 2 when we follow up. But background remover, where with just one click, instead of you finding Photoshop and learning how to use the software and different things like that to take the background out of a photo because you want to use it in a specific way, in Canva, you're able to take any picture, click background remover, and it's going to be smart enough to remove the background. So now I could do some different things or place him in a way. I could play with the transparency. I can increase the brightness. I can still do a lot of different things to make this design go wherever I want it to go. But one of the main apps that I definitely want to make sure that you all got a chance to check out was the background remover, because that comes up all the time. Like, you're gonna always want to remove the background or remove somebody out the background, whatever the case may be. But by far my favorite app or favorite tool that's in Canva, because it just allows you to do some really cool stuff design-wise. But to take you all through this this creative process, anytime you're not feeling creative or feeling like you don't have it or you don't got it, start with templates. If you feel like the templates don't have it or they don't got it, then take it to Pinterest. And the odds that Pinterest doesn't have it is low, but if that doesn't work, then take it to Google. But because you can drag and drop any picture that you download or graphic, you can drag and drop that right into Canva and use that as a touch point, or take the colors out of that image. Because once you put the picture in, it'll allow you to do that. So so let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna use this picture real quick. Don't judge me, y'all. My girlfriend has a dance company, so I'm gonna use one of her pictures. Get this. So this is just like a picture of all her dancers, but the way that she made this graphic is she took everybody's picture individually and used the background remover over and over and over and over. So if you're trying to represent the staff or the family or show everybody doing different things, this has become one of the most popular design styles over the years. But what I can tell you is that people typically for years had to go and buy and download Adobe Photoshop just to remove backgrounds. And then once you get the software, you got to know how to use it and know how to actually remove the background. Canva said, forget all that. We're just going to let you all do it with one click. You know, so any event that you are not able to get inspired design-wise, again, you could either find it here or outside of here and bring it right back. But there should never be a reason why you just can't think of what to make, or you can't find any type of inspiration or creativity at all. Okay. So again, anytime you sitting down and you starting from scratch with one of these designs, just start with, what do I want to make in general, and what can I look up something to get some inspiration for that? Type it into Canva, then take it to Pinterest and kind of go from there. We didn't cover everything in Canva, but even me going through this morning with y'all, because I feel like I said so much and I did not even touch on everything. That's why conversations like this need to happen. And I can't just tell people like, man, you don't know how to use Canva? Like what you doing? Like, if it's that much to talk about, then there's much to be explained and there's much to be learned and still uncovered with this software. And today we primarily focused on navigation, tools, and how to leverage this thing and get this thing to do what you want it to do. I do offer services in terms of content creation and different things like that. And I do show people how to create websites and using Canva, pitch decks, different things like that, specific projects. I do that as well. But I think that the most valuable skill that anybody can have when it comes to marketing is at least knowing how to guide your creativity. Because if you just at least learn this stuff that I'm teaching you today, you don't have to do it. You know what it takes. So you can ask a young person to do it or something like that. Or you can easily delegate or pass this task off. But for little to no money, you can really get started and do some amazing things in here. But on that money tip, I want to touch on that real quick, because the difference between paid and free. And where it really kind of comes into play is the elements that you're able to use, using the brand kit, the content planner. But there are a lot of elements associated with Canva that are not free. Okay. So what I mean by that is this is free. This picture of this, because you can see which ones it has a pro crown on there. This is free, right? But I want to show you all really quick what would happen if I was on the free account looking for a boxing picture, just so you all know and know the difference. All right, so that one is free. So these, now you see like this crown is lit up. And if I was to download, now if I'm using this in my design, I can use it, but now it has this Canva watermark on there. To remove the watermark, it costs $1. So these elements that do have little crowns on them, they'll cost like $1, $2. And this goes across like certain lines and shapes, animations, different things like that. So you can end up creating a flyer that ends up costing you like $14 or $15 or something like that. And that could vary across the board as you use different elements. I love the fact that this is free. You don't need to use pay elements to create any of these designs. However, the bang for your buck, I feel like with Canva is incredible. And if you are able, and you get a 30-day free trial to decide if this is for you, but if you are able to pay, I would highly suggest that you go the pro route, the Canva Pro or the Canva Pay route. And this is roughly what the cost is. Don't look at that yearly cost. That's if you pay it for the year, it could be $120, but it's about $12.99 a month. I'm of the thought, I'm of the ideology that if you creating like 1 or 2 things in here a month, then that's probably worth it, because nobody's probably gonna make no graphics or designs for you for $6 or $7 unless they related to you. You know, so if they're not related to you, they probably gonna, you know, even y'all pay you $12.99 what? You know what I mean? So but if you have the software and the elements, it can kind of show people more so what you want, or just start to get the ball rolling for yourself. I think that is a good investment to make in building out your brand, your business, or just getting your ideas out on a regular basis. So this is what roughly you're looking at cost-wise if you do want to go to the pro route, get access to probably 1 million different photos and elements and templates and different things like that, because there are some templates that are free. There are some templates that are paid. For that $12.99, you can kind of take care of all of the paid different things that you can get access to. But yes, with that being said, again, the purpose that I wanted to take this approach to this course or this boot camp today versus, again, just showing you how to do a flyer is I want you to be able to ask questions about specific elements of the tool and how to leverage these things to turn out the designs that you want to get. If I show you specifically how to make a flyer and that's it, you're not going to really know what's going on under the hood, and you probably wouldn't dare pay $12.99. But I hope with some of the things that I've showed you all today, you can see like some of the value you're able to extract out of Canva. How, regardless if you are a graphic designer or a marketer or not, you can still get in this software and do what you need to do to be successful. And if you just don't want to do it, it's easy enough to understand and pass off to someone else. So I encourage you all to, dig in, attempt to make your first design with Canva if you have not. If you want to talk more about anything that we talked about today, I want to share my contact information with everybody. I'll put it in the chat, but feel free to connect with me on social media, or you can have my contact information. I do have an actual course that will be coming out soon. But right now, I'm doing webinars, workshops, and in the process of working on the ebook in Canva. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask, but that concludes my presentation. I appreciate everybody's time.
That was great, man. You're clearly using the fisherman approach to teach them to fish, not put fish on the table. So thank you. I got questions, but I'll hold mine to the end. My questions are not related to the workshop. But you made it look easy, simple, and just plain. So thank you.
Hey, Pop, you go ahead, pop off your questions.
Maurice.
Hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second. Hey, Maurice, let me call you right back. Okay, bud. All right. So, how long you been an entrepreneur? How's the pandemic experience impacted your entrepreneurship model or journey? And then how did you come to this book, Essentialism? I did a little research on it. So I'm just curious, how did you get to that?
Okay.
The text. Those are my 3 questions. Answer them any way you like, or say, no, I'm not answering any.
No, I'm answering those. So, entrepreneurship. I would say that I've been a entrepreneur. I would say roughly for about 10 years now, right? I don't love using the word all the time because I'll never forget. This is a couple years into the journey, and this is as entrepreneurship is becoming more and more popular and stuff like that. I was at a cigar bar with some people. I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and they was like, oh yeah, how much you paid in taxes last year? And I was like, I don't do my entrepreneurship like that. I don't, but what I realized in that moment was, hey man, if you're going to be an entrepreneur or, wear that hat or take on that title, then are you going professional with this? Like, are you treating this as a professional gig? Because if you're not, then you kind of using it more so as like a
Hobby.
Let me
more like a hobby. If you're not paying taxes or you're not profitable at all, or you better yet, you don't have a clue if you
let me ask the question a different way. I'm trying to get out. How long you been hustling?
Nah, for at least 10 years, as far as just like out here putting things together myself. I studied entrepreneurship and corporate innovation in undergrad at IU. So when me and Diop was doing the philosophy thing, I'm doing entrepreneurship and corporate innovation. I'm like, man, I don't know if either one of us gonna get no job after this, because you in philosophy, I'm majoring in entrepreneurship. They were sitting across the table from me. So like, how long are you gonna stay with us since your major is entrepreneurship? And I'm like, that's a great question. I felt like I had a better answer for it then, but I knew even when I got to IU and was getting ready to take advantage of that business school that, man, I could go marketing or I could go accounting, and that would even put my mom at peace a little bit more.
That's important.
Yeah. So because business, but I'm like, but if I can get from this top tier business school, if they can teach me how to do entrepreneurship or get into this on the highest level, or at least how they are thinking, I will find that so much more valuable than just majoring in marketing. Because I'm on the internet or YouTube University and teaching I'm marketing and finding that out every day. I need to know, how are you all thinking? How are you all able to? How are these people that seem like independent able to walk into the company boardrooms and close and cut deals? I want to be that one of those guys, the entrepreneur, the person that's trying to, bring ideas and different things to the forefront. So it got sparked then and really kind of continued to manifest after I got out of school. I started working at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield when they were downtown as a business IT auditor. But I started my marketing company, Decor, that same year when I started working with them. So I'm doing business and IT during the day, marketing and advertising during the night. And I fell in love with the grind during that time too. Felt I had the energy to do both, but felt that natural pull, you know, on a regular basis. My IT career and my passion for branding and marketing, that eventually led to me quitting my job at Anthem and moving out to Los Angeles to pursue marketing full time. And I was out there for about like 2.5 years. I learned life, went completely broke, and relearned entrepreneurship again.
Those are the best lessons, man.
Yeah, I was, you know, I went out there to be an entrepreneur, and it was, I got the experiences and the scrapes and the bruises and different things like that to prove it, or just kind of from that experience that I had in Los Angeles. Because of course, you know, I thought I was about to move to Hollywood and it was just gonna be, you know, all good. I learned a lot and I got exposed to a lot out there. And even a different side of the entrepreneurial hustle, or that bug, because being in a place like Los Angeles versus Indianapolis, where it's so much going on around you, extremely difficult to focus, right? So working in fashion, all right, music, okay, Hollywood, okay, Black Hollywood. I found myself in Los Angeles. I was working as a production assistant for the TV show Blackish, right? And they like, yo, this what you want to do? I'm like, yeah, this all I ever dreamed of. And I'm like, you know, I'm happy to be here on Blackish and I'm telling these people these things, but I'm here to be a marketer. But man, I'm on Blackish. Like, ain't this the opportunity of lifetime? I need to quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm forgetting reasons why I moved out here, because opportunities that's being presented to me seem like, so shiny object syndrome, crazy. in LA. So you want me to come? Where do you want me to do this? Before I looked up, my bank account was like less than $100. And I'm like, Mom, you know, and it's just like that brought me back all the way down to earth. Because mind you, I'd already been working for 4 years at Anthem, you know, bills taken care of, you know, I was in a good place. But out there in Los Angeles, I felt like I got to learn life and learn what it really meant to be an entrepreneur. So now I have that lens put on top of the being a hustler, and it's like, yo, is this profitable? How we spending our time and money? How much business are we doing over the table versus under the table? Are we doing this as professionals, or are we doing this as the homies? Are we going to file taxes on this? Because then you run into stuff like during the pandemic. Getting to your second question, the pandemic was actually good to me as a content creator, as a marketer, because what happened was people were losing their professional corporate gigs, and now with a stimulus check, like, you know what? I'm ready to start it. David, let's do the logo. At least create the business card. Let's do the website. I'm ready to put the deposit down. It would seem like all these things that people wanted to do, or they had an idea about during the pandemic, that was, all right, you know what? Ain't nothing promised. You know, I can't believe they fired me, or I can't believe I'm not going back to work. So a lot of people like, you know what? I got that 200 for you, because they got, you know, they got me messed up. So a couple $100 into themselves and what they doing to at least get the ball rolling and be like, okay, you know, all right, I got the business card. I got my flyer. I got my one-page website. Okay, I can do this. And from there, it became about, all right, man, I'm getting so many projects and work. I want to help everybody. But I I don't think everybody I was talking to was super overwhelmed and didn't know that they could help themselves a little bit more. You don't got to pay me $40 or $50 for this every time. You could keep your money and you could probably knock this out in about an hour. I'll teach you how. I got mixed reviews on people once, man, you just do it. Like, you know, but what I also started to think about too, though, was I was stretching myself being as an entrepreneur, servicing all these different people trying to make content. Yo, how do I multiply myself? You know, I guess without multiplying myself, thinking about like 80-20, what's 20% that could affect the, 80%. And that came down to me figuring out, okay, you know what? I gotta teach. I can't just keep giving people fishes, because now I put a little bit of extra money in my pocket, but I don't feel that good about it. Like, I can teach you how to make this. And now, oh man, you about to pay me $60 for that? That's about to take me like 2 minutes, bro. I already got that made. I feel a little bad. I need to teach you how to do this. So that got me into this space where I'm at now, doing workshops and webinars. And this is something I've been trying to figure out more recently, and having a digital product that's way so people don't need to attend a live workshop or webinar to learn. Now I'm getting into the space of having some of these things recorded, and then eventually having that ebook and that course to where people can tap into this information. But 10 years at least hustling, went to Los Angeles and got knocked on my behind.
That's where you got your master's, man.
Yeah, yep, man, like that. Yeah, because whenever I thought I was entrepreneur in Indianapolis, when I left home and left from around everybody I knew, and my friends, not my client, my friends is my clients that I went to school with, that's the home that that was all out the window. And it was like, hi, how you doing? Starting from scratch over again. That was a very humbling and insightful experience. And then what was the very last?
Essentialism.
Essentialism. So Essentialism, I actually got that book from my uncle. And my uncle has his hands in a lot of different things similar to me, but there's a difference, right? What I've always noticed about him is he executes and completes projects. Like, that is the number one thing to him. And what I was noticing is that I would have my hand in a lot of different things, and I would execute and complete these projects eventually. I was not able to focus just on what was most important in those moments or those times and knock out projects in a month or less. I'm taking quarter, 2 quarters. All right, you know what, bro, just cancel that. Like, that happened to me a couple of times because of my inability to stay focused on the task at hand. Now, where it spilled over beyond entrepreneurship into this real life is like, okay, you in Los Angeles, bro. What's the goal? What we trying to do? Because the Blackish, okay, fashion, okay, music, okay, art. All right, food. All right, can Diop name some of the stuff that I was into? My uncle had sat me down and was like, it's not bad, and it's 100% okay to be into all those different things, but it's not respect, or it's not honorable to be a master of none. So as you are picking up these different hobbies and projects and different things like that, what are you going to be known for? And what is something that you can really kind of put your stake in the ground and say, yo, you stand on this as far as executing and completing projects and getting things off and out into the world. I know I wanted that to be marketing. And I was able to really kind of like distill down to that through that book, Essentialism, focusing on the meaning specifics instead of like wondering generalities and not being intentional with the work that I was doing and choosing to do with people. Essentially helped me, essentialism helped me just really look at what are the things I can control, what are the things that are truly important. I like what you touched on a little bit earlier about that matrix where urgency versus importance. Yo, how do I live more in the important but not urgent quadrant much more, because I'm spending too much time on stuff that's not even important, but I'm making everything urgent. So now my head is like this all the time, and something I could have been done with in a week, it's taking me 2 months. Essentialism is one of my favorite books of all time, and if y'all haven't read it, I highly encourage it. Author's name is Greg McKeown. But yeah, focusing on meaningful specifics, and what's the 20% that's gonna get you 80% of your results.
Your uncle is your mother's brother?
Brother, he's brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
But it's family. Like he run a cigar bar and a barber shop and a couple other things. But again, execution is worship for him. So what we finishing? You know, when is it gonna be done? And write that date down. That might be the military in him. It might be the military in them, but
well, the military does create that discipline.
What you say?
I've noticed when I talk to, I'm gonna be quiet. I feel like I'm talking too much, but the young guys who've come through our space, who have spent some time in the military, they actually come with discipline more sooner than others. Now, you know, others, you get older and you get it as because life will provide you the opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the military is its classroom creates a kind of discipline for execution that you don't find a lot of places. So
yes. So I'm always trying to take pieces and learn it and incorporate that into life. But yeah, essentialism, like, again, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that book. It's not the most popular joint, but it's really good. And if you don't want to jump straight into the book, look him up on YouTube. He'll do like a quick talk on it.
David, I got a couple questions for you. We won't hold you too long, but so, and just based off of what I know, so you I'm curious in terms of, like, you know, you've been going through your own master class in entrepreneurship and journey, and have you juxtaposed what you've learned in the field to when you actually went and got your master's, and how have those things strengthened or even negated some of the philosophies and approaches? So basically you're in the field learning and or your theory learning. And then my next question is, I think it's really good to share, if you can, some of your experiences with some of the businesses you said, hey, you know what, I need to land this plane, like the loaded fries, and then some that you're continuing, like the collaboration with Monty. So just say a little bit about those things, I think would be great.
Got you. Okay. So to answer the first part of your question, I definitely found them both valuable. And it was super interesting to go to a place like Los Angeles, where I'm dealing with a lot of, I'm doing marketing, but I'm dealing with people in the entertainment industry. So they like, man, forget that degree. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. But let me tell you where I found value in still having that paper and that experience from IU. The confidence that it gave me to negotiate and conversate with whoever the quote unquote, you know, the boss of the brand, or that, you know, this person at this record label as A&R, because they were all very down to earth, very chill people. It was only this element of, that's that person being in the C-suite, or, so I don't think that I'm of status or where I need to be to even talk to or conversate to that person. Okay, even if you're thinking like that, that's one thing, but yo, what we need to do, we need to come with a solid idea, make a pitch or a presentation. Because my whole grad school program was based off of they was making us give IT presentations asking for millions and millions of dollars and trying to justify the cost with no return on investment. So I had this experience of giving presentations, asking for outlandish amounts of money with nothing, and I'm not guaranteeing you nothing per se in return. Security, peace of mind, information is protected. But through that experience, I got very comfortable pitching myself. I got very confident and comfortable in my ideas and my ability to articulate them. And these was things that was 100% absent kind of from the entertainment field. I feel like on the lower levels, it was a lot of like, you can't talk to that person. I don't know what to say. I do. Actually, I made a short slide deck. Who is this dude? Like, he made a presentation and he trying to like give a presentation to the CEO. Why would he even try to talk over our heads or something like that? Nah, this is just how you do it. And that structure I learned kind of from the classroom and all of that. Like, yo, if you have an idea and it's solid, you need to present to this person so that person can present to that person. Or you need to schedule some time on their calendar and treat it professional versus, hey, bro, let's get up and let's go link up. All right, cool, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. But if it's an idea on that level, or we're about to ask for this amount of money, this is how you do that. And I was able to take that classroom stuff and bring that into the field to where they like presently impressed. They're like, bro, you wrote an email, you put your ideas on a piece of paper before you gave them to me, because I'm used to people just kind of firing off all day. So but on the other side, you have to deal with how confident are you? Bro, I ain't go to school and I've been had it. You know what I'm saying? So what you talking about? This is what I'm talking about, kind of meeting people where they at, because they try to put you in a box. Like, man, you only got the book smart. You don't know how to actually get stuff done. Forget that book. I know how to get stuff done. It's all about confidence and being able to speak to both sides. Like, I'm confident that you know how to get stuff done, and this is a plan or the proper way that we should go about getting stuff done. Let's bring these things together and, move things forward. And I feel like that allowed me to cut so many people in line when I was out there in LA, for instance, like that Blackish stuff. Like, for the person that's probably like, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, what's going on? Yo, my name, I do marketing. And man, you like, shoot, you work at Blackish? I'm putting myself all the way out there, and they kind of taken back a little bit. So just putting your best foot forward and selling yourself kind of came all down to that confidence. So that's what I would say would be kind of that mix between classroom versus field. Find both of them valuable, but I don't discount either one of them. And then in terms of hand being in the pot, in so many different pots, right? So let's talk about the French fry thing, for example. I do marketing. For small businesses and entrepreneurs. I do marketing also for music artists and in the entertainment industry. That is completely different from food. But last year, was that this year? Last year now. I had a great idea. There's no shortage of ideas, though. But I had a great idea to start a loaded fries business. What I knew is that it was a good idea. I seen something that was reminiscent of it in Los Angeles. And basically, it was just the idea about adding a protein to like create some loaded fries. And what I knew was that, I'm gonna market and promote this so good, and the logo gonna look like this. And oh man, this is about to be so good. and it tasted good and everything. Only thing I ain't think about that much was actually making the fries. And what happened was
Just go around the Hardee's and get those.
I'm like, no, I'm about to book us for this. And it's gonna be 3 characters, and one gonna be red, and we're gonna have a TV show, and then I'm gonna make some t-shirts. I'm thinking about everything but making French fries. All the
Fries
marketing
coming soon.
right. So so we get started. I started doing a couple of pop-ups, learned very quickly, like, hey, you gotta cook the fry, man. All this oil, and I gotta cut the potatoes too. I don't even like cooking. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get a team together real quick, because I'm trying to get to the merchandise and to the oohs and ahs again. The flaw in this thinking is this: there are no shortage of ideas, but when you talk about what it takes to actually execute on an entrepreneurial endeavor and turn it into a business, this ain't the time to, like, I don't know how much money we made, or you open the bank account, or because all I had in my mind was like, man, it costs French fries and I'm about to charge them $10, and French fries don't cost $10, so I win, and that short and abbreviated thinking led to me quickly hiring us like a small team. A lot of them was family members and friends. One of them was my best friends. But I think, between lack of communication and high level, I'll book us, we'll be at an event, they cooking the fries. I done walked away from the table. I'm networking, talking to people and laughing, and and then that turned into a thing to where, again, I'm losing control, because I think that everything is good and that we're getting booked. We making money, or so I thought. That everything was all good, but when I look at the groceries for the month and where we bought product, because I'm just, hurry up and doing stuff and making sure that it's looking good. It takes a lot more to run a successful business and for that business to be profitable. And that was one of the instances after me and my best friend that was doing that business, we actually got into it. And I'm sure it has something elements to do with like organization. I know I was mad about, because I let him open up the bank account. I was mad about the money. It was just, and again, and now I'm like, yeah, because I was only caring about the colors and the graphics and the flyers and stuff like that. Man, that's only one small piece. So making sure that, when you step into an entrepreneurial endeavor, understand what you are getting yourself into, or what you are thinking about making a commitment to, because it's going to go beyond the part of it that you like.
How long did you guys run the business?
We were in business with the Fries Guys went for about 6.5 months into
to run out of cash and nobody was talking to each other.
Yep, hey, bro. I don't want, yeah, it came down to going to the grocery store, and I'm trying to swipe the card, like, what? Bro, we have to pay for the payment processor. Okay, how much is that? How much is it every time you swipe a card? Okay, man, this is how I'm going back to marketing. Like,
sorry, it's a good lesson, man.
I learned so much. And going back to that point that you made, Diab, again, applying that classroom to the field, what I learned in the classroom was just like, all right, lean startup methodology. All right, you got your MVP. All right, get the potatoes. All right, okay, got an MVP. All right, let me just get this to market, and I'm going to see. I love that I've actually continued to keep that mentality or that mindset, because it keeps me trying things, even though I knew that I don't have no experience in food or restaurant industry. I know this is a good idea. I'm about to try it. And, I got access to an event or to an event space. I'm gonna get us booked. Let's just see. What if you embarrassed and nobody eat it and everybody hate it? All right, let's just see. like, let's see. So again, I think that having the classroom background to where I don't have experience to kind of lay my hat on with that, but I do know that nobody's gonna fault me or penalize me too crazy for seeing if I have a valuable idea. I can write some stuff down on a paper and try this and be like, And that was something that I kind of took from the classroom out into the field, and I still do it on a regular basis. But these days, it's about essentialism, doubling down on what I know are like my true gifts, and then digging a little bit deeper now and not going so far. God's going so much for wideness or breadth, but going for depth.
So do you want to share anything about the Melly showroom? Because y'all do a lot of stuff, not just around clothings and brand, but it is truly kind of turned into a space that you all have made available to community. And then lastly, it's been my last question, is you still do things in the IT realm. And so like while you're running your marketing and while you're running the showroom, you also are still like clocking in heavily. So you're managing a lot. So if you could talk about, I know it's like for some reason the IT just has not left your life, but that's also still a major part of your flow.
Right. Okay, so first just to talk a little bit about the Melly showroom and what we're doing up there. So Melly is a brand that was created by one of my fraternity brothers and best friends. His name is Monty, but the name of the brand is Melly, M-E-L-I, and it stands for More Equality and Less Ignorance. And Melly is I would describe it as a sophisticated, high quality streetwear brand, where the materials that he is using in his garments are definitely not the cheapest stuff that you can find. It's good quality material, sourced and manufactured in Los Angeles, and then he gets the clothes pretty much shipped out here. And what we have going on at the showroom is a space essentially to put those clothes on display and sell. But as you all can hear in the name, more equality, less ignorance. Melly, it sound cool. Melly off the tongue sound cool, but more equality, less ignorance being the acronym. How do we embody not only in the clothing, but within ourselves, or foster a community that celebrates more equality, less ignorance? So we ain't got people just vested or into what we're doing specifically because of a t-shirt, but we're tapping into, things that really matter in the community, because we got a lot of, a lot of ignorance and a lot of inequality that goes on. So how do we make these garments more of like a statement, and then also develop or come up with some programming that supports it? So to your point, Diop, not only do we sell the clothes out of the showroom, but we also do a lot of community programming and try to continuously increase on that front. So we got like a projector and tables and different things like that, but it's the perfect space for people to throw live workshops, seminars. We've also, from an entertainment or more artistic perspective, we have given artists the opportunity to turn the showroom into their galleria, to where, hey, you don't have to wait to get validated or stamped from the Indianapolis Museum of Art, or that, you create your own museum in here right now. Let's just work this out, get it set up with the spaces. We'll move these clothes out the way, and you could set up your whole own art gallery, and we'll pour up the wine and create that experience. You don't gotta wait 10 years. Let's do it. Let's just see, that whole mentality. Let's just see what it looks like now. So everything from parties to event showers to one of the reoccurring events that we do right now is First Friday. So every first Friday of the month, we open up the showroom along with the other artists in the Murphy Arts Center down in Fountain Square. And we pretty much have music, drinks, fashion, and really celebrate the artists, the painters, these people that are pretty much, putting their art and their ideas out into life and putting them on sale. Like we usually celebrate a feature artist of the month and celebrate ourselves, really. It's not just like a straight party or anything like that, but we try to party with a purpose and celebrate the creatives in the community, because it's not easy sustaining yourself in the art from an artistic perspective. So the idea beyond First Friday and some of these other events is to continue just doing more event planning. So if you all know anybody or yourself personally, well, you ain't gonna be able to, well, you could rent it from the West Coast. I don't know if you got to come fly in and come and do an event or something like that. But if y'all ever want to do an event or got an idea, want to do movie night, show a film that people haven't really seen like that, we have the perfect setting for that. And just want to
quick question on that. How long have you been on this particular journey? This one?
2 years. 2 years.
And high, at a very high level, are any particular challenges that you experienced?
I think at a high level, I think I wouldn't look at this so much as a challenge as I would as an opportunity, but I think it becomes about connecting with more entities in our local community to grow the impact of what we're doing. I feel like we are operating in somewhat of a silo sometimes and speaking to people we went to college with and people, that are into art and clothing. When we do an event, for instance, we work with Murdoch, for example, who was the presenter last week. So the last Friday of every month, we do the Circle City Storyteller Series, where that's all about bringing together people in Indianapolis that are influential but have a story to tell, and giving them that platform to get up there and tell their story. I like to call it the Black TED Talk. You feel me? Like giving people a platform that may not necessarily always have one to get up there, share their experience and tell their story, and seeing how that rocks and moves the room. I know that this could be so much felt if we start to really tap in with other entities in the community, not just promoting it to everybody in the community, but tapping into different organizations that are about the same things that we are about when it comes to this. And y'all might not have t-shirts or nothing going on fashion. We got that, okay? But connecting the dots from that perspective, just so we're moving a lot more strategic in 2023. I think it could be a challenge reaching out and finding the right people, but I also look at it as an opportunity.
Yeah, it's the best way to look at it.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely.
David, I just want to say this was my first opportunity to meet you and hear from you. And Diop has always spoken very highly of you. And I definitely can see why, just experiencing some of what you have to offer, your general energy, which is very refreshing. So just thank you for your time and what you bring. And that book you dropped too, Essentialism.
Mm-hmm.
I was very uncomfortable with how much you were speaking to my soul and calling me out personally. It sounds like
I'm telling you, I'm only assume that we would probably have a somewhat similar experience. And I love to even talk with you about after you get the chance to check that book out, or at least listen to that YouTube talk. Let's talk about it a little bit more, because it's one of them things to where I read the book some years ago. So it's definitely not, I got it, put it down and start. It's one of them ones that you will want to revisit on a regular basis, because it kind of just grounds you. What's really important here. but he gives you some couple different ways to think about it. So I would love to hear from you once you do check out that book, but it definitely changed my life, like the way I think. So
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely adding it to my reading. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing it and dropping that perspective. And then you also made me think something earlier that I just want to share my perspective on when you were talking about folks paying you for stuff that you felt like they could do and you felt bad, like this takes me 2 minutes. And I think I definitely like the way that you're looking at the fishing versus fish, like that is very powerful to me. But I also just wanted to share that, like, encourage you not to undervalue like what you may be able to do that others may not be able to do, or maybe don't want to do, or is like, it don't make sense for me to do because David can do it and I know he's going to do it well. And then I don't have to spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to do what he can do in 2 minutes. So yeah, I like, cause clearly you have a lot of talent and skill in that space. So it might be, yeah, just that. I just want to encourage you not to undervalue how much someone else would be happy to pay you.
Take
to
the
do
money,
that
man.
for
Take
their
the money.
business.
right.
For their business. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you sharing that with me, Mimi, because I just went through something like that not too long ago with a show that my girlfriend was doing. Because usually it's like, all right, now let's put on our DJ hats and figure out how to split the music up and make it fade and do all these different things. And it's like, all right, we might need to outsource.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. People love to outsource, okay? Sometimes it just makes the most sense.
But no, outsourcing and delegation, I think, are two very important things, especially as we just get older and take on more stuff just to make this stuff feasible. But no, I appreciate that. And again, let me know once you check out the Essentialism book.
Right on. I shall.
Are you audio book or written word? Do you have a preference?
I actually read it the first time, but I do prefer audio books because I like listening and then taking my own notes.
I'm gonna give you a couple of books, man. I got a couple other titles to add to your list.
All right.
And I'd also like to say that delegation and spreading the wealth that you have is always a good idea. It's around here we have a tagline, our community wealth building, and as you show others how to do things, some will pick it up and be so thankful that you started them on a skill. So keep encouraging them. Hey, man, let me show you how to do this. Let me just show you how to do this. Now, if they like me, they're going to say, no, baby. How much do you charge?
Right.
No, dear. I want to
Please take
support
my money and
you.
do this, please.
Right. But just the fact that you encourage other people and say, hey, listen, this is simple. You can do this. You can do this. And pass that wealth around by encouraging people that this isn't like what do they call like coding stuff? This isn't like coding script. This is really simple, but just to encourage spreading that skill. I appreciate that.
So, man, this must have been worth it because we didn't went over about 40 minutes. So, is there any other questions?
Over at the end, didn't we?
Any other questions or anything you want to share, David, or questions, or just any final thoughts before we conclude today?
I just want to tell everybody that first of all, thank you all again for sitting through that and listening to me talk. But regardless of what department that you're in or what you're working on, I wanted to show you all this today to let you know that you are creative. You can be creative on demand at will. And it's a way to go about that using this tool. Also, don't ever hesitate to just see, like, whether it's talking about the designs or idea that you got, something that you're trying to get into. Don't underestimate the power of just see. Like, let's just give it a quick test. Okay, yeah or no or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? So get out there. If y'all got any ideas, like just see if it works. You never know.
Hey, what frat are you in, man?
Kappa.
Kappa, okay.
Yes, sir.
Red and white.
How can we support your work?
So right now, if it's okay, I would love to add you all to an email list that I'm putting together where I will be sending out news and notifications on the status of the ebook and the course that I have coming out soon. And then outside of that, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or on social media, I would love to leave my information or email that out to everybody that's on the call. And then if you want to share this, because I know it's gonna be on YouTube, definitely don't hesitate to share this. I'm gonna create some micro content off of it, something like that. But anybody that need assistance with content creation or marketing, don't hesitate to connect them with me, because Canva is one element, website, apps.
Hey, man, Diab had also asked you about your IT journey that you were still in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. From an IT perspective, you know, the thing is with that is I truly love tech. Like, I'm a techie, and my professional career in IT at this point has really turned into me keeping my pulse on what's going on in the tech realm, and you know, making some good money and leveraging my degree and different things like that still. This was a part of kind of that pullback that I had when I returned here from California. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try the job thing again before I go all the way off on my own entrepreneurially. So that's what really brought me back in. It has me with the opportunities to, you know, continue to figure out and learn things on the corporate side, but the mission remains the same. I do plan to go full-time entrepreneurially when I'm in position to do so, and leveraging the skills that I'm learning in these boardroom or in these corporate rooms, bringing them to the entrepreneurial field just to turn them right back around and get big deals for myself or other clients that I might be working with in the future. So,
And on the IT, like some of the, I mean, is it similar to sales for what, like some of the software, some of the stuff you dabbling in with now? What would you?
So the company that I work for in the city is called Genesis. Y'all probably have seen them like off of the side of the highway. I think that's like 71st or something like that, 79th over there by Lid's corporate building. But Genesis does contact center software, customer experience software. So basically, when you call into anybody's like helpline to resolve an issue, for example, me yesterday with the flights getting canceled, when I call into Southwest Airlines, for them to know like that robot prompt that comes up, that's a certain software for them to know where to route my call to, for them to be able to take my voice and turn it to text and different things like that. This is all a part of a software suite that different companies will buy or pay for to help them service their customers better or their internal employees and agents better, because sometimes it's the same software that's used for like a help desk. So what I'm responsible for as a sales development manager is prospecting primarily. So I do a healthy amount of outbound and inbound prospecting. So that's a combination of calling, looking through LinkedIn, finding people contact information, email, talking with them through InMail on LinkedIn and different things like that. I'm looking at a lot of different marketing campaigns that the company is running, and then following up and putting the people in like an appropriate cadences to where, okay, first day I'm gonna call, third day I'm gonna email, fifth day I'm gonna, drop them a line and say, hey, what's up? It's, different stuff like that to prospect and find people to sell this software to. What this does is, I already got marketing kind of in the bag, but the two people that never get along that people talk about all the time is sales and marketing. So now that I'm in IT sales, my reason and also for getting into this realm is like, what's the problem? Let me see what the problem is, and understand that from a corporate business perspective and get better at making, big sales. Because if I can get that down, that can only help me tremendously with my marketing. So that's my thinking, and the reason why I keep a post on IT.
All right, thank you, David. I appreciate that. Well, if there are no other final questions or thoughts, it's been great. We'll definitely keep chopping it up per usual. And then I guess that's a wrap, y'all.
Yeah, great. Thanks, David.
All right.
All right,
I know I
thank
talked
you.
y'all heads off. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me.
I look forward to those emails.
Okay. Well, definitely they coming.
All right.
And Diop, I'll follow up with you because again, if I can just blast out a quick email to everybody that got my contact information and everything in it, and they all have me as well.
I can give you I can put together an email and have everyone copied in there for you just to respond to.
Okay, bet. Do
All right.
everybody consent to giving an email? Everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.